users, and welcome to another episodic installation of your, hopefully, favorite internet live stream show experience. I am here once again. If you can believe it, personally, I can't. But maybe you can. I am here once again today. Today is, actually, it's May. Today, I'm not sure if the users, I don't know. I don't know if you knew that, but, it's actually May. It's the 2nd of May, actually. And I'm doing a show. So, this is the Above It All program, for May. And this is the only one I'm going to do for May, because today is May. Tomorrow might be also May, which, I will not be here on Wednesday, so I will be back on Thursday, everybody. I would also like to announce that next week, this fucking thing is gonna fall. Holy shit, okay. I would like to announce that next week I will be taking the whole week off. At least I will say, I'll do a show this Friday, and I will be back the next Sunday, taking a week off. I am going to go on a news fast. I don't want to read the news for an entire week, and I want to work on personal stuff. And so I'm not going to be anywhere on the internet really at all. So for a week, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay at home. But just got to take a week off and get some shit together. So I'll be taking next week off. I was going to take this week off originally. But I figured, I don't want to take a week off after going on the leftist mafia. So I've got to give all the new viewers here a chance to see what they're subscribing to. But next week, I'll be taking a week off. I'm going to go on a news fast. I'm not reading anything. I'm not going to go on social media. And I'm going to be working on some stuff. So throwing that out there, I'll be reminding you, until then. But I'll be back on Thursday. I'll do a show on Friday as well this week. And I don't know why y'all motherfuckers are harassing me with my favorite fucking hobby, okay, motherfucker? Alright, Doom. I'm going to be playing some Doom, alright? I'm not going to be streaming any Doom. But I'm going to be playing some Doom. I got to work on this goddamn fucking project, so... But hopefully I'll have it finished before my break, because I really don't want to work on anything. And to be honest with you, I don't want to play the game too much either. But it's not going to be a 0. I'm not going to read any news. That's a 0. But I will maybe load up a Doom now and then. But, yeah, so just throwing that out there. By the way, subscribe to the show. Or don't. Also, reminder everybody to check out my hot new Doom Megawad. It's called Autophagy. For the listeners out there, I talk about autophagy a lot. I thought the word was cool, and I created a Megawad. I've watched a lot of people stream my game, and I ask all of them if they know what the word autophagy means, and they say no, and they also don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm teaching all the gamers out there about autophagy. So, just in case that's interesting to you. It's also got dual meaning, because this game is a very stylized after the original Doom games. There's all kinds of Doom out there. There's a lot of very modern Doom, but this one is extremely stylized after the originals, which is why I thought that the title Autophagy pretty good. But anyway, aside from my genius when it comes to my creative arts, by the way, play my game, this is a new show. So we're going to be jumping in. We're going to jump in. We're going to jump on. We're going to jump everywhere, in fact. Holy shit. We're going to jump. There you go. All right, so what do I want to talk about first? I mean, all of these stories are kind of like, you know, nothing too big, you know. I don't know about any 30-minute segments today, but we'll see. But I want to start off, I want to start my show with some good news, actually. You know, we don't talk about good news on my show too much. I'm a leftist, and we always complain about everything. But let's talk about some good news here. And that is that the United States decided not to shoot down a balloon seen off Hawaii. Good news, everybody. The United States decided not to shoot down a balloon. Now, for those of you that are the younger people in my audience, you might not remember that there was this moment in American history where there were just like balloons in the sky, and like Joe Biden was saying China's trying to invade us or some shit. And then like the right wing was saying we got to go to war, World War III with China. Does anyone remember this? I know it was a long time ago. The younger viewers in my audience might not remember. But there was like, they were shooting down balloons left and right, shooting that balloon, shooting that balloon, shooting this balloon, that balloon, that balloon. There was like fucking 38,000 balloons that they shot down. Now it seems that they're pumping the brakes on the whole let's shoot down balloons thing. But let's check this out. U.S. officials decided not. Now, first of all, can we talk about the fact that, like, this is a news story? Right? Like, only in a world where the U.S. shoots down every balloon that's ever existed, like they go to kids' birthday parties with fucking AKs and they shoot them all up, right? The one time the U.S. doesn't do anything, that's a news story. That's a news story. Think about that. It's a news story that the United States did not shoot down a balloon. Now, that's the world we're living in. So I just want to share that with everybody. A Department of Defense spokesperson said in a statement that the Federal Aviation Administration on the Defense Department first saw the unmanned balloon on April 28 at about 36,000 feet. That's crucial information. That they're telling us that it was at 36,000, not 35, not 36,500. No. It was at 36,000 feet exactly. Not 36,406 feet. No. Not 35,917 feet. No. Of course not. That would be silly. It was exactly 36,000 motherfucking feet. So isn't that great? The spokesperson said that the U.S. does not know who owns the balloon, but there is nothing to suggest it is being handled by a foreign or adversarial actor. Now, this is why I wanted to talk about this. I saw this quote, and this one is kind of like fucked up. So the balloon is not being handled by a foreign or adversarial actor. So you don't know what the deal is with the balloon, right? If you don't know where it came from, there's a good chance it's foreign, right? Right? Now, it's also possible it's domestic, right? Someone in the United States, someone in Hawaii, maybe, whatever. It's possible it's domestic. But it's way more likely to be foreign. And yet, they're saying it's not, quote, now this is the quote here, foreign or adversarial actor. So the reason why that is the quote is because the way that the U.S. wants you to think about words is foreign equals bad. Foreign equals adversary. But then it also implies that we have an adversary. Now, again, look backwards. Now, again, this was a long time ago. I actually don't even remember when it was. So, again, the younger viewers out there might not remember. But when we were shooting down the balloons a while ago, long time ago, Joe Biden said they were Chinese balloons. So, therefore, we gotta shoot them down. The Chi-Coms are invading us with balloons. Which, again, now everyone already knows the United States treats China as an adversary for little to no reason. But this is just, that kind of insidious way that they create associations in the American people's mind. Now, for those of you that don't know, your brain, which, by the way, I don't know much about your brain either, but what we do know about the brain is that it is an associative organ, right? When you hear certain things, think about sense memory, right? You walk into this bakery, local mom and pop shop bakery, and you get a whiff of something. You don't know what it is. You just get a whiff of, they're baking something up back there. And it reminds you of when you were like 5 years old and your mother took you to like some fancy cake shop or whatever. And again, that's sense memory because your brain is an associative organ. It associated that smell with the memory of your mother taking you to the cake shop, whatever. This is just an example. I'm sure most people have an example in their life of a sense memory. It's a song. This is a common one. You're driving on the radio. You're driving in a car, I should say. You have the radio on and, whoa, holy shit. That song comes on, your song. You ever hear these people that go like, oh, that's my song? No, it's not. You didn't fucking write it. That's someone else's song, but whatever, right? And oh, wow. I remember when this song came out. I was in fucking 9th grade. I was going to high school, bro. And whatever. So we all know what sense memory is. And that basically is just fundamentally your brain is an associative organ. So the way politicians speak to the population, the way that they, again, look at terms like officer-involved shooting, right? A lot of vague words that really, they don't have clear definitions, or at the very least, they're not used in a way where look at the word woke as a really good example, a prime example, if you will, of a word that has no definition, right? And so people will just hear it, and it's not nailed down. It's a vague idea. And then again, because their brain is an associative organ, they'll associate woke with things that they don't like. Even if the word doesn't really apply there, even if it doesn't really make any sense at all, right? So again, when they say foreign or adversarial actor, what they're trying to do here is they're trying to mix together the words foreign and adversarial, is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it in your mind that foreign is bad, which is not the case, obviously. Now, you can read into this stuff. Well, good news, actually. The spokesperson added the balloon did not fly over sensitive U.S. government sites. Well, isn't that good news? It didn't fly over a sensitive site. I got news for you. If you got sensitive sites that can be seen from the sky, you might not have heard of this. It's a little thing called satellites, motherfucker. Google Earth has got that shit on lockdown. So the idea that a balloon is doing anything that Google Earth can't fucking do is ridiculous. So, there you go. You can read more of this if you'd like. There's not really much to look into there. But good news, everybody. The United States did not shoot down a balloon. Not only is that news, but it's also good news. You might be surprised at both of those things. But there you go. We got fucking, I can't believe this shit. Holy fuck. Retro Boomer has remembered the program. Thank you, Retro Boomer. And whenever I think about boomers, I think about medicine. And I think about how I forgot to take my medicine this morning. So just bear with me here. Hold the phone. All right. So we got a show doing a program here. Today is Tuesday, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's also May, which is another thing. But that means I will not be here tomorrow, taking Wednesday off. So I'll be back Thursday and Friday, but starting Saturday, I guess I'm taking 8 days off, I guess. But I will be back not this Sunday coming up, but the Sunday after. I'm taking a week off, so just making sure people understand that. I know fucking Soul Life. Is Soul Life here, you little fucking prick? Like, Soul Life, literally, like clockwork, since this motherfucker has joined this fucking stream on a regular basis. That's right, calling you out, motherfucker. Like clockwork, this asshole, every Wednesday and every Saturday, like, replies to a random thing on the fucking post feed saying, like, where's the show? Where's the show? And it's like, dude, motherfucker, you know I'm taking the day off. Come on! Anyway, shout out to Soul Life. But anyway, doing a show here today. This is the Above It All show. I kind of rearranged my room recently, so I'm trying to, like, you know, my whole setup is a little different. Not all the way different, but a little different, so I gotta make sure, like, this camera thing is not gonna fall the fuck over. Where the hell is that Max dog? Oh, he's on the bed. He's a bed dog. Max, you want to be a couch dog? Want to be a couch dog for the show? He's staring at me. He said no. So, anyway, the United States Surgeon General, the Surgeon General of the United States has said something. So, United States Surgeon General warns of next public health priority, loneliness. Now, first of all, on the headline, I'm already going to give this one a D-. Warns. Bad word choice, okay? Now, I don't know how much of this is on the Surgeon General. We're going to find out. Next, also, horrible word choice, okay? We are not looking toward a future health crisis when it comes to loneliness. We're already in it, motherfucker! Like, I mean, I know. People, like, especially in the government, they're really late on the take when it comes to acknowledging reality. This is the same government that pretends that COVID is not currently happening, right? So they're going to try to shift the focus to something else. Also, again, the White House is considering a ban on TikTok. Congress passed a bill that gives the White House unilateral executive authority to ban any social media website. So when Ron DeSantis, just kidding, haha, because that's never going to happen. When Donald Trump, if Donald Trump wins in the next election, he can ban every social media site if he wants to. So again, they're going to try to move the needle here. Don't worry about COVID. Don't worry about the pandemic we're currently in. Worry about some future pandemic that, by the way, is also currently happening that we've also been ignoring because we don't care about you. But let's read here. There is an ailment linked to increased heart attacks, depression, diabetes, crime, and premature death in the United States, and it's impacting people no matter where they live or who they are. Loneliness. U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy released an advisory on loneliness and isolation on Tuesday and urged people and public officials to treat the matter with the same urgency as other serious conditions such as obesity or drug abuse as it continues to surge. Now, again, I'm going to be honest, no one treats obesity with urgency. That's never happened. Now, you might be a dumb fucking prick, and you might think that people actually give a fuck about obesity. U.S. government officials, they don't give a shit. The United States in the 1970s basically gave a fuckload of government subsidies to poison producers to mass manufacture poison that made everyone fat. Then the United States in the 1990s told everyone, hey, eat high-carb and low-fat diets. Was anyone around in the 90s? I was born in the 90s, so I wasn't really around for that. But my mom, she was really big on this. Low-fat! I know there's like a fucking Seinfeld episode about this. Low-fat. Maybe even better, no fat. Because Americans and the U.S. government that is bought and paid for by the food industry are so fucking stupid that they don't understand that there's a difference between fat on your body versus fat as a nutrient. They don't get it. They literally, because Americans are so fucking stupid. I need to really underscore this. Americans, not the government. Now, again, the government's bought and paid for. They're fucking stupid too. But I really need to underscore this. Americans are so fucking stupid that they literally actually think low-fat food is healthy. There's plenty of people that still do, right? So again, the government has been lying to us about obesity for years. The official government guidelines tell people to consume high-sugar foods. The official government guidelines for the last 50 years have told us to drink juice. What is juice? It's soda without the carbonation. It's as healthy as soda. The only difference is one's carbonated, one's not. Now, some people carbonate their juice. That's a whole different story. But again, I need people to understand that the government does not have your best interest in mind. Now, I want the government to have our best interest in mind. I advocate and agitate toward having a future where the government has our best interest in mind, but that is not the current case. So again, why are they talking about loneliness right now? Even though people have been lonely in our atomized society for the last 100 years. Why now? Well, this is the next step of pandemic denial. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the stages of genocide, because what the pandemic is genocide, we are in the final stage of genocide where we deny that it ever happened. And we deny that it currently is happening. That is the final stage of genocide. That is what the Nazis were doing in the 1930s and 40s. They were telling people, hey, there's no genocide. What are you talking about? Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. What is genocide? What do you mean millions of people dead? What? Never happened. Settle down. And that's the same exact, fundamentally 100%. If it was a Venn diagram, it would be one circle. That is exactly what's happening with this pandemic currently that we're going through. Okay? We are entering the denial phase. We are denying that this pandemic actually had a cultural impact. Now, people are like, remember COVID? Remember COVID? Remember when I couldn't go into the Wendy's for 2 weeks? Oh, man, that was goddamn woo! Remember that? Like, that's how most people talk about COVID. Why? Because they're fucking stupid. And so all of this is to move society into the next stage of complete, flat-out denial. The climate's not changing. There's no such thing as disease. Hang out with your friends at super spreader events. Now again, I'm not saying that loneliness is not an issue. Loneliness is an extreme issue. We are a social species. But the idea that artificially going out and meeting people that are fucking stupid and putting yourself at danger of a disease or death is gonna change anything? I mean, I'm sorry. I say no on that calculation any day of the week. So again, should you work on making more friends? Hey, I have this issue. But again, it's hard when so many people, minimum bar, by the way, in the United States, 84% of people are just dumb. They're just dumb. Where did I get that number from? 84% of Americans refused a free, safe, effective vaccine for the virus that has killed millions of people. 84% of the country said, whoa, free, effective healthcare that's free. It's free, by the way. Can't have that. I'm scared. So again, 84% is my minimum threshold. Now again, I'm willing to say 90 plus, 95 even % of Americans, you could just write them off. They're worthless. They're garbage. That's my opinion. I know it's harsh. I'm not trying to be popular. I don't give a fuck if the zombies are offended by my speech or not. I certainly don't really care. So again, the idea that, oh, don't worry about COVID, everyone, we got to get outside and party, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, again, I'm not saying you shouldn't have friends, but this idea that this is now we need to address the crisis of loneliness, not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, but now, you know, as we're entering the whole pandemic never happened phase of American society and culture. Right? Let's keep going. Quote, right now, millions of people are telling us through their stories and statistics that their tank is running empty when it comes to social connection. So bottom line is that this has to be a public health priority we consider on par with tobacco, with substance use disorders. Now, again, I just want to also be clear, when it comes to drugs, the United States doesn't take drugs seriously either. Like, now, again, I'm not talking about Americans, because Americans are fucking stupid. Have you seen the way Americans talk about drug addiction? Have you ever been around the people that are straight edge, the normies, the ones that don't do drugs? Like, if you smoke marijuana in some situations, people will literally think you're a homeless person. People will literally treat you as if you have Down syndrome or something, which is a whole different story, the way we treat disabled people. People will alienate you if they think you have a drug problem. Look at how this country treats Hunter Biden, for example. Okay? Now, again, I'm not saying Hunter Biden's a great guy, but, like, the right in this country has been attacking him for cocaine use, something that right-wingers do a lot, for years, right? Because drug addicts and homeless people and disabled people, in the eyes of the average American, are garbage, refuse, trash. You are all at the bottom rung on this society, which is why I say flip that shit. I flip it. I say the average normal American is at the bottom on my personal way that I view society. Disabled people, right? Drug addicts, homeless people should be at the highest level of priority. But you think the United States government gives a fuck about drug addiction? The same country that outlawed certain drugs and created the DEA, which is a criminal organization, because black people were voting too much? Again, Richard Nixon. When was Richard Nixon elected? Does anyone know? Can anyone remind me? I want to ask a couple questions. Pop quiz for the chat. When was the Voting Rights Act passed in Congress and signed into law? And when did Richard Nixon win an election and become president? Can anyone remember these events in our history? Pop quiz. So Richard Nixon literally started the DEA and the War on Drugs, Controlled Substances Act, because black people were voting too much. Now, you might think, oh, come on, conspiracy. Literally, it's in revealed documents, right? You know, government documents they have like some clause or whatever where after a certain amount of time, certain amount of years, stuff gets released, unsealed, whatever. Then people, 30, 40 years later, they talk about their time in politics, right? And it has been verifiably confirmed that the entire impetus behind the war on drugs was because of black people and people that opposed the Vietnam War. Specifically, white hippies and the blacks, as they referred to them. That's why we have the war on drugs, because black people were allowed to vote. If you have a meth addiction and you go to the hospital, chances are you're going to get turned down. Oh, we don't accept the homeless. Oh, you brought it on yourself. Now, some hospitals, if you're really getting fucked up, they'll treat you, right? But I've seen all kinds of stories of people that need help and get denied at the hospital because, oh, you're homeless. How are you going to pay for it? Oh, blah, 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 this and that, right? Now, again, this happens. But the U.S. government facilitates this. Do you know what's going on with fentanyl in this country? Fentanyl is a completely made-up crisis by the United States government. Now, when I say made up, do I mean that it's happening or that it's not happening? I say it's made up because the government literally created the crisis. People are dying of fentanyl Because the government refuses to regulate the drugs that people are consuming. The government refuses to regulate the drugs. This would be like if people started dying from drinking milk. And then we find out, oh, turns out 10 years ago, the government removed all regulations on milk. So now people are dying because of bacterial infections. Now, whose fault would it be? The people drinking the milk or the government? So again, the idea that the government is going to pretend like, oh yeah, we really care about obesity. Oh yeah, we really care about drug abuse. Oh yeah, we do. Give me a fucking break. We really care about loneliness. Sure you do. Sure you do. So you can read this. There's a bunch of stuff here. And also, again, past tense COVID here. Check this out. During the COVID-19 pandemic, social isolation was exacerbated by school and workplace closures that were in place to stop the spread of the virus. So again, past tense. It's don't worry about it. Millions of people are dying. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Millions of people are dying from COVID. Hundreds of thousands are dying from fentanyl. Don't worry about it. Just go outside and party. So there you go. The U.S. Surgeon General has spoken, folks. Doing a show today. It is 10:40 at this current moment in time. Can you believe this shit? I personally, I can't. Right? I can't believe this shit. It's 10:40. Like, are you fucking... Jesus fucking shit. You know when, like, those motherfuckers go, like, 10-4? You ever see that shit? 10-4. What does that mean, 10-4? You know, like, you see that in fucking, like, army movies. You ever watch those fuckers, you know? Like, 10-4. What the fuck? What is 10-4? What is that? I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's 10:40. It's actually 10:41 a.m. in the United States of America. So let's talk about some fucked up shit. So the United States, you may have heard this. There was a lot of hullabaloo about this a while ago. The debt ceiling. The debt ceiling. Does anyone remember the goddamn debt ceiling? Whoa, the debt ceiling. You ever have dreams where, like, your ceiling is collapsing in on you? Well, that's basically the debt ceiling, the debt ceiling, the debt ceiling. Oh my God, the debt ceiling. U.S. may default on June 1 without debt ceiling hike. Biden, McCarthy to meet. Now, I want to talk again, real quick, before I read this, because I'm going to read this, about dumb fucking Americans in our stupid fucking form of government. In America, we can write, I should say, vote for, pass, and sign into law legislation that spends money above our means. So what is the debt ceiling? We signed, essentially, imagine this. You go to the grocery store, you have $73 in your bank account. You write a check for $100 because, well, you know that your sister is going to, you know, put the money in your bank account tomorrow morning, and you tell the cashier, hey, don't cash this until tomorrow. My sister's going to go and put a deposit in, whatever. And then you find out your sister's Kevin McCarthy. And Kevin McCarthy's like, fuck you, bitch. And the check, instead of for $100, it's the entire U.S. fucking budget. So we are allowed, because this government is fucking ridiculous, to pass laws in the budgets that spend money that we haven't even approved of yet, and then we wait until later to approve the spending again. So we passed the budget, then Republicans came into office, and now they're saying we're going to throw the whole country's economy, as well as the world's economy, into free fall unless you cut woke Social Security and woke healthcare. So again, when I talk about things that are made up, this is an example of a completely made up crisis. We passed a budget that spent money that wasn't technically allowed to be spent, but we passed it anyway. And now, later, after the money has been allocated, now we're saying, oh, you're not allowed to do it. By the way, June 1st is coming up here. So, U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday summoned the 4 top congressional leaders to the White House next week after the Treasury warned the government could run short of cash to pay its bills by June. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said in a letter, fucking Yellen. I every time I say her name, I feel the need to like create a joke, and I couldn't think of one in time. But anyway, Janet Yellen said in a letter to Congress that the agency will be unlikely to meet all U.S. government payment obligations potentially as early as June 1 without an action by Congress. The estimate raised the risk that the United States is headed for an unprecedented default that would shake the global economy, adding new urgency to political calculations in Washington, where Democrats and Republicans were girding for a months-long standoff. My goddamn... my fucking back hurts. Jesus Christ. Biden called Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in Jerusalem. Yeah, he's in fucking Jerusalem, by the way. Like, Kevin McCarthy wants to bring Netanyahu back to America for a visit. You know, the modern day Adolf Hitler. Yeah, he wants to bring him over to the United States. By the way, just a real quick one. Israel is the modern incarnation of Nazi Germany. Netanyahu's the modern incarnation of Adolf Hitler. These are Nazis. The government of Israel is bought and owned and paid for by Nazis. The ruling party in Israel are Nazis. And I would even go as far as to say that on a lot of levels, they're worse than Nazis because they've been ongoing and doing a genocide for 75 years. Imagine what Nazi Germany would have had if they had 75 years to get their shit done. I'm just saying. So fuck Israel, fuck Netanyahu, and fuck Kevin McCarthy. But let's keep going. Where he is on a diplomatic trip to invite him to a May 9 White House meeting, the two leaders haven't sat down to discuss the issue since February. Biden extended invitations to House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Republican leader Mitch McConnell. McConnell, whose fall in March sidelined him for weeks, said he and Biden had a good conversation today, adding, "I'm sure we'll be meeting again." House Republicans passed a bill to raise the debt limit last week that includes steep cuts to spending from healthcare for the poor to air traffic controllers. Has anyone seen Breaking Bad? Because what we need to do is have less air traffic controllers. Am I right, people? Vote for McCarthy. The Democratic-controlled Senate and Biden say they will not approve it. Biden has steadfastly said he will not negotiate over the debt ceiling increase, but will discuss a budget cut after a new limit is passed. Congress has often paired debt ceiling increases with other budget and spending measures. A White House official said Biden, who has previously said he wouldn't meet McCarthy at all to discuss the debt limit, would stress that Congress must take action to avoid default without conditions on May 9. Now, here's the question. Who, Kevin McCarthy or Joe Biden? Who has the thicker skin? Who has the stronger vertebrae between the two of them? If they were playing, thumb war or doing an arm wrestle, but, when it comes to willpower, who is going to win, Kevin McCarthy or Joe Biden? Now, I don't know. But if I were to bet money, cash money, if I were to bet fat fucking stacks, look at how much money I have. If I were to bet all of this cash, I would say Joe Biden is going to fold before Kevin McCarthy. That's just my take. That's my take. So again, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I know that it's also possible that Joe Biden just sells us down the river another time. Says, all right, we'll cut healthcare spending and air traffic control, but we'll do it in 6 months instead of right now. How's that? We'll give the poor people a little bit more healthcare just for a little while. The new potential X date, which takes into account April tax payments, is largely unchanged from a previous estimate issued in January that the government could run short of cash around June 5. But Yellen added some wiggle room, noting federal receipts and outlays are inherently variable. The actual date the Treasury exhausts extraordinary measures could be a number of weeks later than these estimates. Weeks, by the way, not months, just to be clear. Weeks. It is impossible to predict with certainty the exact date when Treasury will be unable to pay the government's bills, she wrote. I just want to say this much. In the era of computers, how is it possible that you don't have an exact date? Is it possible that all of this shit is just made up? That the debt ceiling just came out of the fucking sky? Poof, debt ceiling. That the budget is made up? We created it? We created a system that just doesn't work properly? Is it possible that the money in the U.S. Treasury is also made up? Is it possible that we can just print infinite money and it's all meaningless? Is that possible? Can we talk, is that even, is this even something we can even think about a little bit? Maybe? I don't know. After hitting the $31.4 trillion borrowing cap on Jan 19, Yellen previously told Congress that the Treasury, why is it that Treasury? Not that the Treasury? They just call it Treasury? What the fuck? Would keep up payments on debt, federal benefits, and make other spending by using extraordinary cash management measures. One such step Treasury is taking is suspending the sales of securities that state and local governments use to temporarily hold cash. 2011, a similar debt ceiling fight took the country to the brink of a default and prompted a downgrade of the country's top-notch credit rating. This time, negotiations may be even more difficult. So you can read more information about this. Essentially, what Kevin McCarthy wants to do is cut Social Security, cut healthcare, cut all kinds of social spending without passing new laws. Because the way our country works is you can just kind of destroy people's rights. You can kind of just destroy people's entire fucking systems without even really passing a law. Think about it. If Kevin McCarthy does nothing, people suffer. If Kevin McCarthy does something, people suffer. Hell, if Kevin McCarthy does exactly what Joe Biden wants him to do, people are going to suffer anyway. But still, isn't that a little fucking weird? Do we live in this kind of weird, fucked up country where you can make people die and suffer and starve by just not doing anything? Isn't that a little weird? Shouldn't we have, some fucking, automatic stabilizers or, a fucking backup plan or whatever? Shouldn't we be thinking about that? No, don't worry about it. It's the debt ceiling, a totally real thing that actually exists on planet Earth, in our solar system, in our universe. The debt ceiling created by God. In Jesus' name, amen, everybody. Hopefully the invisible hand will come and save us. But there you go. Debt is paid by your grandchildren's labor tax. Well, no grandchildren here. So there you go. Everybody, I've got one more story that I'm going to do a segment, if you will. I just realized I had top chat on the whole time, so I apologize if people were trying to tell me stuff and I missed it. I had top chat on the whole time. Fuck. Well, every even with all the streaming experience, you know, we still make mistakes. But next up after this next segment will be QCock questions, comments. I think there's like the fucking Q&A feature actually. Is that still like a thing, or did they remove that because it didn't fucking work? Anyway, my point is, engage with your audience. Start Q&A. Okay. I don't remember how this fucking shit works. Okay, so in the top chat, live chat drop down, there's a Q&A. It's a separate chat room, essentially. I guess. So post your Qs in there now, and I'll get to them in a moment. So, do you ever think about, I know a lot of people, they don't really think about the world that they live in. All they really care about is their smartphones. Oh, who's talking shit about me on Facebook? Who's talking shit about me on Instagram? Oh, someone liked my post. Someone liked my post. Oh my God. Like, that's, and the average American, that's all they fucking give a shit. Oh, what's on TV? What's on Netflix? Oh my God, keeping up with the Kardashians. Woo, I'm American. But like most Americans, again, dumb as fuck. Let's be honest. Minimum 84% of Americans are just, you can write them off, right? They're just as intelligent as an amoeba in the primordial soup of this fucking earth, okay? That is to say, not very intelligent, right? But I, on the other hand, and, you know, a lot of people that exist in this world that we share with the zombies, like to think about the world and think about ways to make it better. And one of the areas where you see the zombies get really fucking pissed off about is the border. The border. You see Republicans talk about this. Zombies. They're not real people. I know, Republicans are not real people like you, like me, okay? They're not real people, okay? They're insane, psychopathic, mutated creatures, okay? They are antisocial, so much to the point where they want to kill other people that just disagree with them. They want to kill people that disagree with them. They're freaks, okay? I need you to understand this. They're freaks, Republicans. Now, a lot of Democrats are freaks, too. I'm not going to let them off the hook. But again, Republicans really, wow. I mean, these guys are like a bona fide fucking fucked up freaks, okay? But they love the border, at least, well, they love talking about it, you know. Joe Biden, by the way, has had, I know that this is a fact, fact that really upsets Republicans. Joe Biden has a stricter border policy than Donald Trump did. I know it blows people's brains, but facts really don't care about the fact that your brain was blown out by your own fucking stupidity and propaganda consumption. Joe Biden has kept in place what is called Title 42, which essentially is, it's essentially what Trump brought in when the pandemic happened to restrict border crossings. But again, that was in the last year of Donald Trump's administration. We've had Title 42 now for a good chunk. You could even say a majority of the Biden administration. We've had Title 42 in place. This idea that Joe Biden has loosened the border is completely manufactured. It's made up. They pulled it out of somebody's asshole. Steve Bannon, maybe. Joe Biden, under Joe Biden's presidency, we have more of a border wall. Joe Biden campaigned on the wall is racist. Donald Trump is racist. He got elected. He got inaugurated, which was a struggle to get to that point. And now he's finishing the wall. So, 6 months ago, the wall is racist. Trump is a xenophobe. 6 months later, let's finish the wall? That's Joe Biden for you. So again, a lot of people get triggered when they realize or when they hear that Joe Biden is actually stricter on immigration than Donald Trump has been. That makes people upset. But again, we live in this world where there is a multi-billion-dollar industry around creating and manufacturing lies about the world. That's called the Republican Party. That's called Republican and conservative media. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry where they basically go to think tanks, groups of people, to create the most soothing lie to ship off to the American public, and the dumb fuck zombies actually believe it. Now, this is all a prelude to say, I'm going to be reading a Daily Mail article, so... El Paso mayor declares a state of emergency, with border facilities already at capacity ahead of Title 42 ending in 10 days. So Biden is choosing not to renew Title 42. Now, why is that? Because Joe Biden is pretending the pandemic is over. This is another thing that Joe Biden did. He campaigned on eradicating COVID. Does anyone remember Joe Biden's epic-ass tweet? Anyone who's president when 300,000 Americans die shouldn't be allowed to be president. Whatever, paraphrasing. Does anyone remember that banger, that absolutely vintage greatest hits fucking banger from Joe Biden? Well, again, Joe Biden managed to do what Trump could never dream of. And Joe Biden took a country where Republicans didn't believe in science and threw Democrats and independents into that mix. There are three factions in this country politically. Democrats, you could say four if you count apolitical people. Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Under Donald Trump's administration, only Republicans refused to believe in science. Joe Biden got Democrats and Independents and apolitical people to become anti-vaxxers. Under the first round of vaccines under Joe Biden, we had about 80% uptake on vaccines. The most recent vaccine has had 80% refusal. Now, some people claim that Americans didn't know. We've lived here, for 8 months now? Maybe even longer with a bivalent booster shot. So if you don't know about it, I'm sorry. I've got a bridge to sell you. And after you're done buying the bridge, I know an activity that you can fucking think about, okay? On that bridge. But with all of that being said, this fake outrage that is now, this is going to be the next talking point, El Paso, state of emergency in El Paso! The illegals are coming in, the aliens, it's an alien invasion, woo! UFOs in the sky, the aliens are coming down from Mexico, they're coming in, they got aliens from Honduras, they got aliens from Chile, I could go for some chili right now, maybe even throw a hot dog in there, we got aliens goddamn coming from Argentina, got aliens coming from Mexico, they got aliens! Right, so we're going to have to put up with this shit now. A completely, again, it's entirely fake. But wait a second. Some Republicans out there might be saying, well, you tell me there's no problem with the border? No, there is a problem with the border. The fact that we have a border is a problem. This idea that human beings can draw magical lines in the sand. You step on one end of the line in the sand, you're an illegal. You're an alien. You take a one step over, you're a naturalized citizen. You're on one side of the line on the sand, and you light a blunt, it's totally fine. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. You step over onto the other line in the sand, and SWAT they come out of the skies, ropes pouring down from the sky like rain, helicopters crashing in on you. Whoa, we got a pot smoker. Let's throw that bitch in jail. What? But again, a lot of people say, this is another thing you hear from Republicans. They're fucked up freaks. They're stupid, dumb, fucking shit for brains. You ever hear this shit from Americans? Because this is a country of immigrants. So Americans have to come up with some sort of coping for the fact that their parents, grandparents, and so on had to immigrate here at some point, right? So what do? Well, they say shit like this. Why don't they just come in illegally, My meemaw, bless her heart, she died in 18 goddamn. my meemaw came into this country totally legally, and she had a family, she did it the right way, she started a business, she bought a house, she had kids. Now why don't these illegal aliens come in the right way? You hear people say this in earnest. They say this, and they mean it. Now you might be out there, one of the zombies or zombie adjacent, and you don't know why I'm making fun of this person. Well, guess what? Did you know that as time progresses, we live in a linear time line, right? Time goes in a one direction, right? So what's true in 1941 is not necessarily true in 2023. So when these dumb fuck shit for brains meemaws immigrated to the United States, the laws were different. It was significantly easier to enter the United States. The last 40 years especially, we have gotten a lot stricter on immigration, which is, I say, a bad thing. I think immigration is awesome and wonderful, and it allows for a lot of cultural mixtures that I find fascinating. But the doing it the right way is next to impossible for large portions of this planet. Unless you're rich, or you know somebody in the United States who is a citizen, you're pretty much fucking shit out of luck when it comes to immigrating into the United States. Okay? So again, now that I've said all of this, what do we need to do? What we need to do is create a system where legal immigration is encouraged and easy. We need to hire more judges to approve of immigration papers. The idea that there are cops at the prisons on the border, the concentration camps on the border, the idea that we have cops there, and instead of spending that money, instead of cops on, I don't know, bilingual people that can help them process documents, what's going to solve the problem sooner? Having a cop posing for OnlyFans in front of a concentration camp full of kids that are crying because they don't know where their parents are? By the way, does anyone remember that story? There was this viral concentration camp tour, and there was this ICE guard who I guess was semi-attractive or whatever, and she used the fact that she was in that video to start an OnlyFans. Does anyone remember this? I don't know, maybe I got fucked up internet brain, but damn, that one was funny as shit. She turned being a fucking Nazi concentration camp guard into a porn career. Look it up. It's crazy stuff. But anyway, would it make sense, instead of having soon-to-be porn stars, not that there's anything wrong with porn stars, by the way, I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that the whole situation was hilarious. But instead of having wannabe porn stars pointing guns at the crying kids, how about we spend that money on people that can, I don't know, judges, for example, that can approve of the papers? Why don't we, think about it. I don't know, a little bit? Just think about the world a little bit, maybe, and you can create another fucking world that's better for everybody? I love this one. Biden administration opening processing centers and vows border is not open. Now, again, we live in a world where there is no such thing as a language. We all act like there's language. We all go about our business like there's language. But fundamentally, there is no language. What does the word open mean? Think about it. Think about it. Again, we live in a 1984 type situation where huge swaths, we're talking 40% of Americans, they think the border is open. There was a poll I saw about this that said 40% of Americans do not approve of Biden's open border policies. They think the border is open. You could just walk on through. You're going from fucking Kansas to goddamn Missouri. They literally think the border is open. Like, this is what we're dealing with, okay? I really need you to understand that when such a large group of people believe in something that is verifiably untrue, we got a lot of work to do before we can fix immigration in this country. We have a lot of work to do before we can do anything. Anything. When 60% of this country believes that Jesus is watching them jerk off and he's judging, 60%. They believe that Jesus is judging them. 60% of this country believes that there are angels watching over them and their family. Angels. 60% of Americans. They believe that angels, invisible, by the way, because they're always invisible, are watching over their family while they jerk off. Like, I'm just like, 40% of Americans, 2 out of every 5 Americans, they genuinely believe the rapture is imminent. What is the rapture? Jesus or God or some shit will descend from the sky, bring all the Christians to heaven, while Lucifer fucks shit up on earth or whatever. 40% of Americans literally not only believe that the rapture will happen at some point, believe it's imminent. Like, you're gonna wake up one day, open your curtain, and holy shit, there's a cyclone in the sky. Is that Jesus? 4 in 10 Americans think, literally, they wake up, they brush their teeth, and they go, is Jesus up there yet? Gonna save me and my family? So again, I don't know. I don't even know what to do. The mayor of El Paso, Texas, on Monday declared a state of emergency amid overcrowding from an influx of migrants. About, I don't know, build another fucking facility. About, I don't know, process the motherfucking migrants. Like, we have solutions here. Now, again, I've said this before, but America, this is a metaphor for America. You, in this metaphor, are America. When I use the word you, I'm talking about America. Okay, so imagine. You're in a room. Your friend brings out a plate of cookies. All right? We all love cookies. You know, they're bad for you, but hey, once in a while, let's have a goddamn cookie. You know, they got that weird fucking plastic wrap on them that's like gonna leach microplastics into the whatever. So, he takes the plastic off. You reach for the cookie. Hold on a second. I put cyanide in these cookies. They're poisoned. They're going to kill you within a couple minutes. If you eat one of these cookies, you will die in a couple minutes. And then they take their hand off your hand. Now, Americans will eat the cookie. Doesn't matter. The poison, no poison, that's a cookie, motherfucker. So imagine you eat the cookie. All right. You're going like, whoa. You know, you start feeling all fucked up. Then this guy who gave you the cookie says, check this out. Imagine what's in my hand is a capsule, a pill. It's the antidote. If you take this pill, you will live. So he puts the pill down on the table in front of you. Now, again, just for the sake of the metaphor here, we have complete motor control, at least for a couple minutes. There is nothing stopping us from consuming the antidote. Now imagine, Americans will literally eat the poisoned cookie they know is already poisoned, stare at the antidote as they foam at the mouth and die. Because they're fucking stupid. I spit all over myself. They're fucking stupid. We have the solution, okay? The solution is more judges, more processing employees, less agents, less Nazis, less ICE, and loosen the border so that we don't shoot people that are just walking too close onto the other side of our fucking jail wall. So again, what do you do in a country where Americans are killing themselves and staring at the solutions while they foam at the mouth and die? How do you proceed? I'm just... because this is where I'm at. In my philosophical journey, this is where I'm stuck. I can't get past this part in my head. When 40% of people believe the rapture is coming and believe that we have open borders, 60% of people believe Jesus and or angels are watching over them and their family, 80% of people refuse safe, free... If you were reading this, I would use bold and italics. Free. It's free. It costs $0. And it's safe, free, effective vaccine. 80% refuse it. And you wonder why this country is in shambles? I don't have any solutions. My solution is to educate people en masse. But no one fucking listens to me. So I guess that's not gonna work. Anyway, you can read more of this. We're gonna deal with this fucking fake crisis for a while now. Now that El Paso's doing the state of emergency, you bet your sweet ass motherfucking shit ass bippy that goddamn motherfucking Greg Abbott is gonna come on down and go, the Biden administration open border policy, goddamn God, we're going to have to send troops to the border, send troops to the border, goddamn pretend it's for the aliens. Did anyone see Greg Abbott, by the way? There was a mass shooting in Texas, and Greg Abbott referred to the victims as illegal immigrants. You may be shocked to know that they're not illegal immigrants. They're just legal migrants. But Greg Abbott hates immigrants so much that he called them illegals at a press conference. Illegals. Yeah, well, we have a sad day where illegals got killed. Well, you know, it's not that sad. Oh, wait, you're telling me they're legal? Well, they're still aliens in some way or another. I mean, look at them. You know, like... So what do you do? In a country where 40% of people believe that Jesus is going to descend from the sky at any minute and rescue their family, how do you even begin? How do you even begin? I need you to really think about this. This is the fundamental question that anyone who's got a remote interest in politics has to reckon with. Do we just ignore the zombies? I mean, there's a lot of them. It's hard to ignore about 80% of the population. It's hard to ignore 40% of the population. So what do you do? When so many people are so fucking propagandized and so fucking stupid, what do you do? I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm not. This is not a rhetorical question. I genuinely have no idea. This is where I'm at in my political journey. I have no fucking idea. How could you possibly do mass education? You can't. Because then people will say, communism, they're teaching people about the world over here. They're teaching kids about biology in these here rooms. They're teaching kids who George Washington has slaves. Can you believe this shit? Someone go get the sheriff, we go down and take it. So you can't do that. You can't do mass education. So what do? One at a time? I'm supposed to just help people one at a time and then hope to God or whatever that that's gonna work. Now, call me selfish if you want. I'm 26 years old. Now, I don't have any grand plans on personally saving the world. That's not the game I'm in. But I'd like to move people. I'd like to bring some people over to the reality that we're all suffering through, at least a little bit. If I can bring some people. I'm going to be 27 soon. Can you believe this fucking shit? Holy fuck. Anyway, So I'm trying to think, like, what could we do before I die? Within my lifetime, what can we do to fix this world? And right now, I got the answer. It's a big fat 0. I got nothing. So, if anyone wants to help out with my thought process, because I'm not going to lie to you, and maybe I'm wrong, and feel free to have this conversation. But I think educating people, generally speaking, educating people is far more effective than any political campaign you could possibly think of. I'm willing to say that. If you put the same resources that you would put into running for office into mass education, I feel like you would have a more beneficial outcome. That's just my opinion. But obviously I don't have any money to put anywhere, so it's not like I can reallocate money I don't have. But anyway, there you go. Fake border crisis. We're gonna be dealing with this shit for a while, so put your seatbelts on, folks. We're going to La La Land, and have a good trip. This is the part where I lean back. Yeah! Woo! Look at that. Leaning back. Look at me. Oh no. Oh no. I'm leaning back too hard. Oh God. Help. Help me. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Anyway, we're going to be entering the Q-Cock portion of the program pretty soon here. Let me get up. You don't understand. I'm under the desk and there's like wires and shit, and like, you know, there's obstacles down here, and I'm trying not to fuck my shit up. All right. Okay. Max is just like watching me act like a dumbass. Like, he's sitting on the bed. He's just like watching the show. Oh. Holy moly. You don't even know. It's like hell down there. It's crazy shit. It's crazy ass shit, let me tell you. Anyway, let's jump into the Q-Cock. Questions, comments, or concerns. Let's use this fucking feature. Favorite flavor of pizza? I like mushrooms and jalapenos. Best part of taking time off? I don't know. Ask me when I take some time off. Any thoughts on Marianne's anti-vax history? I'm going to be honest. I've heard some stuff about that, but I've also heard debunks of that. And to be honest with you, I don't care enough to look into it. To me, it's not about that. As far as I'm concerned, she is pro-vaccine. When it comes to a modern sense. So if she said stupid ass shit 40 years ago, I just don't care. That to me does not matter. I mean, we have Joe Biden fundamentally refusing to believe in vaccines here and now. You know what I mean? And the other guy, RFK, is also like in the same, a little bit even further to the right than Biden, I should say. What's on my shirt? This is on my shirt. I mean, it should not be a surprise. Any clips? We got no clips. I don't even know how to comprehend this question. What am I going to eat? I don't know. Will there be Twitch streams? No, I'm not going to talk to anybody on the internet. Yo, motherfuckers, like, ask more questions. Like, what the fuck? I was expecting more. But, all right. All right. Goddamn 27 club. Jesus. I mean, I can see the appeal. No. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. It's hard to click on again. Yeah, I don't know how it works from a user perspective, so but whatever. Anyway, I guess I'll end the Q&A. Movie reviews soon. I might get back into that. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. I might get back into it. It's possible. I kind of like, I watched a lot of really good movies for the first time, you know? So it's like, do I want to just review every movie I ever watch? Because then it's like, every time I watch a movie, instead of just enjoying the movie, I'm thinking about the content. And that's like a brain disease I don't want to think about. But yeah, I'll do a, you know, keep going. When I have inspiration, I will do things, but I have experience with doing things that I don't have inspiration for, and it causes me to hate myself and the thing I'm doing. So, I only want to do things when I have inspiration. Anyway, that's the show, I guess. You know, that's the fucking show. You got the fucking show. That's all we got. That's all we got. It's the fucking the show. That's all we got. That's all we got. Is anyone there? Is anyone watching the show? You got a show here. Get your show here. Get your show. Anybody need a show? I got a show here. Get your show. Anyway, y'all, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I will be back on Thursday. Once again, I'm taking next week off. Friday will be my last show until the Sunday after the next Sunday. So I'm taking a week off next week. Doing a news fast. I'm doing a social fast. I'm not going to be streaming on anything or really talking to anybody. I need to reset a lot of things. So, but enjoy your day and enjoy tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday. And all I got.